The woman who calls herself my mother took $6,000 from me to organize the party, then gave my daughter a mop for her birthday and said, "That's all girls like her deserve." Everyone laughed, but an hour later there was silence when My name is Avery. I'm 33. I don't let my daughter open gifts in front of my family anymore. Last year, I sent my mom $6,000. She said it was to organize a big, elegant birthday party for my daughter Mia, her first one since remission. She promised it would be special. She used words like Princess Garden and long overdue. I believed her. The party was held at my mother's house like always. A sagging balloon arch in the backyard. Plastic tablecloths. 2 pizzas. And a mop. That was Mia's gift. A mop. With a pink ribbon. That's all girls like her deserve, my mom said. Loud enough for the whole table to hear. She was smiling. Everyone laughed. Even my cousin clapped. Start young, he joked, sipping from a beer. Mia just stared at the floor. I didn't say a word. Not then. Not when my mother told everyone she had to cover all the costs herself because Avery's tight with money. Not even when my uncle raised his glass and toasted to real grandmothers who do everything. I sat there motionless. My hand wrapped around the empty wine glass. I didn't drink that night. An hour later, when people started to leave, I quietly picked up Mia's things. She asked if we could stop for ice cream on the way home. I nodded. Then I walked back inside. Into the kitchen. My mother was laughing at something on her phone. I placed a receipt on the counter. It was for the mop, $14.99 from a discount store. She looked up, confused. I didn't blink. That's all mothers like you deserve, I said. Then I turned and left. I said those words without raising my voice. She blinked. Once. Twice. But said nothing. Just like the others. Not a single sorry. Not a single why. Outside, Mia waited by the car, still holding the mop. The pink ribbon had slipped off. I took the keys from my coat pocket, unlocked the door, and helped her buckle in. She didn't ask questions. She didn't cry. She just looked tired. And as I pulled away from that house, that perfect little nest of old wallpaper and newer lies, one thought lodged itself in my chest so hard I could barely breathe. How did we get here? Because I wasn't always this silent. There was a time I believed my mom loved me. I was 20 when I gave my mom my tuition money. She called crying, said the roof was leaking, that mold was growing near Mia's crib. That she was scared. That she didn't have anyone else. I withdrew the payment that same afternoon. I told my college counselor I'd take a semester off. Family emergency, I said. I never went back. That's how it started. From there it was small things. Diapers. Groceries. Utility bills. Then it was bigger things. A car payment. A dental procedure. Just until I get back on my feet, she'd say. She never got back on her feet. Because I kept being her feet. When I got my first job at the accounting firm, I told her it was temporary. She told everyone I was managing investments. She wore that title like it was her own. When I worked 2 jobs to save for a studio apartment, she cried again. You're abandoning us. So I stayed. I stayed while she booked spa days using my card. While she gave Mia hand-me-downs from dollar bins. I stayed when she used my tax refund to upgrade the family kitchen, which meant a new coffee maker for herself and a coat of paint over the mold. I paid the vet bills for her cat. I paid for my brother's traffic tickets. I paid when my uncle needed a little float after Vegas. But the worst wasn't the money. It was what she said. She's always been the strong one she'd been to her friends. Doesn't need much. Doesn't complain. Like strength was some excuse for cruelty. Once Mia had a fever. I called my mom and asked if we could stay the night. She said the guest room was full of boxes. It wasn't. Mia threw up in the car while we searched for a motel. I remember sitting on that scratchy motel blanket at 3 a.m., watching my daughter sleep with flushed cheeks and tangled hair, thinking, I'm raising a child. And still being treated like one. She called me 2 days later. Not to check on Mia, but to ask why I hadn't paid the internet bill yet. You're slipping, she said. Then came the birthday. I gave her $6,000. She posted pictures of the party like it was hers. Told everyone how much it cost her to give Mia something nice. My aunt messaged me later, you should really thank your mom more. She does so much. I stared at the message. Then I opened my banking app. Screenshot every transfer. Every invoice. I still haven't sent them. Because what's the point of proving you were used? The users already know. But I remember. I remember what she said to Mia. That's all girls like her deserve. No one flinched. No one said her name. No one said mine. Just laughter. Plates being scraped. Someone asking where the cake was. It happened a week later. I hadn't spoken to her since the party. I blocked her number. Deleted every photo from that day. The one where Mia is holding the mop in both hands, the ribbon still attached. I couldn't look at it anymore. I ignored the "you're being dramatic" texts from my cousin. The long voicemail from my mother, "You hurt everyone you know. Especially Mia. She misses me." She didn't. Not once did Mia ask about her grandma after the party. Not once did she mention the mop. She just went quiet. Too quiet. I let her be. I stayed quiet too. Until my bank called. 3 alerts. Overdraft. Unusual activity. Frozen card. I logged in and stared at the screen like it was some kind of bad dream. 3 new transactions. All recent. All unauthorized. $220. Then $400. Then $1,980. All labeled party reimbursements. All sent to the same account, Margaret Halston. My mother. I had already wired her $6,000 weeks before. Confirmed. Documented. These were extras. Extras she took. I called the bank. They traced the login to a previously used device. Same IP as last month, the rep said. One frequently accessed by the user. Her house. Her laptop. My password. I hung up. Slowly. Carefully. The silence after the call was louder than anything I'd heard all week. Something shifted in my chest. Not anger. Not heartbreak. Clarity. That sharp, blinding kind. I opened a file on my laptop labeled Family, Do Not Delete. Inside were folders. Receipts. Screenshots. Transfers. Birthday wires. Emergency wires. Christmas loans. Vet bills. Rent help. Gas money. Grocery money. 10 years of evidence. I printed it. Not all. Just enough. Then I drove. She was in the kitchen when I arrived. Still in that soft floral robe she wore whenever she didn't feel like getting dressed. Stirring tea. Like she had nothing to hide. She looked up and smiled. "Avery, you could have called. I'd have made something." I said nothing. Walked in. Calm. Cold. I laid the file on the counter between us. "What's this?" she asked. Her voice was sweet. Light. Like she was genuinely confused. I tapped my phone screen. Opened my banking app. Showed her the 3 transactions. Highlighted. "You stole from me." She blinked. Then rolled her eyes. "Oh, please. It was for the party. You said you wanted it to be nice. I gave you $6,000. And it barely covered anything. Do you know how expensive it is to rent tables, chairs, decorations? The cake alone." I saw the cake. It was a sheet cake. From Walmart. She paused. Briefly. Just a flicker. Then she smiled. "You're making a scene over nothing." I placed the document in front of her. 3 pages. Outlined. Highlighted. Signed. "Return the money. You have 3 days." She laughed. Actually laughed. "You're not serious." "I'm done." "With what?" "With being your bank. Your shield. Your scapegoat. Your babysitter. Your excuse." She stood straighter. "You'd really do this? Over a few dollars?" "It's not about the money." "Then what?" "It's about my daughter. The way you humiliated her. The way you laughed when she cried. The way you raised your glass while handing her a mop. That's what this is about." She looked past me. My uncle had just arrived. He stopped in the hallway watching. "Listening?" "What's going on?" he asked. "She's threatening your sister," my mother snapped. "Over money." "Over theft," I corrected. I turned to him. "She took nearly $2,600 from my account without permission. After I gave her $6,000 already." He looked uneasy. "She probably didn't mean to. She logged into my account. From her house. On her device. She meant it." My mother's voice got louder. "This is ridiculous. You've always been so cold. So transactional." "No," I said. "I've just been quiet. There's a difference." Another cousin walked in. Now there were 4 of us in the kitchen. The air was thick. "She's trying to ruin everything," my mother said. "All I've done is love her. All I've done is support her." Support. I laughed. A cold, hollow sound. "You kicked me out at 19. Because I got pregnant. You told me I ruined the family name. You told me not to come back until I learned how to be a mother." I looked around. I did. I became a mother. A real one. Not whatever version you pretend to be. "Don't do this here," she hissed. "Not in front of everyone." "You did it in front of everyone." "You're exaggerating." I pulled out my phone again. Scrolled to a video. Mia. Standing with the mop. My mother laughing in the background. A clear voice, "That's all girls like her deserve." I pressed play. Let it run. The room went still. Even my uncle stopped chewing. She turned white. "You recorded that?" "No," I said. "Your friend Monica did. She posted it on her story." Forgot to delete it before I saw. A long, low silence. Leave, she whispered. But I didn't move. Instead, I reached into my bag one last time. Pulled out a legal envelope. Stamped. Dated. 3 days, I repeated. Or what? I'll report it. Fraud. Identity theft. I have everything documented. And if you think I won't press charges, you wouldn't. I looked her dead in the eye. I will. I picked up the folder, tucked it under my arm, and walked to the door. Then paused. Looked back. You didn't just steal from me, I said. You stole from Mia. No one spoke. Not even my uncle. I opened the door. Sunlight spilled in. 3 steps out, I heard her voice again. You'll regret this. I turned. And smiled. No. I've regretted everything before this. Then I closed the door. This time it stayed closed. The first morning after it all ended, I opened my eyes and didn't move. No calls. No notifications. No one shouting from downstairs. Just the faint hum of the fridge and Mia's light breathing from her room. 7:12 a.m. light spilled through the blinds in soft lines across my comforter. The cheap clock on the wall ticked like a metronome in a slow healing rhythm. I sat up. Looked around. This was my apartment. Not big. Not new. But mine. The floor still had crumbs from the popcorn we ate during movie night. The couch still had a dent where Mia had fallen asleep. I walked to the kitchen. Barefoot. The tiles cold but not unpleasant. We had made pancakes the night before. Burned the first 2. Ate the rest on paper towels. No plates. No expectations. Just syrup and smiles. I cleaned slowly that morning. Wiped every counter. Threw out the old plastic utensils I never liked. Bought proper forks. I opened every window. Let the air in. It smelled like traffic, dust, and somewhere faint in the distance, blooming flowers. I bought curtains that day. Sea green, like the kind I once saw at a hotel I could never afford. They made the room softer. I bought towels. Soft ones. No bleach smell. No scratchy edges. Big enough to wrap around both me and Mia when she had nightmares. I washed the bedsheets twice. Then ironed them. Just because I could. That weekend we rearranged the furniture. Moved the couch closer to the window. Put Mia's drawings in frames. Labeled her crayon bins. Labeled my spice rack. I even bought a plant. A real one. We named it Bruno. It sits on the windowsill now, soaking up the sun. No one has told me to move it because it blocks the light. For the first time in a long time, no one tells me what to do. No one tells me I'm selfish. No one tells me I owe them something. No one hands my daughter cleaning tools as a joke. No one laughs when she looks confused and hurt. On the 4th morning, my phone buzzed. One new message. I refunded the money. Hope that makes you happy. No greeting. No apology. Just a financial correction dressed as generosity. A second message came that afternoon. You overreacted. It was a party. Everyone laughed. And later. You should have just talked to me. Like adults. I didn't respond. I just turned off notifications. Set up email filters. Saved screenshots in a folder titled Closure. Then I logged out of the family chat. No one noticed. That Friday my cousin texted. Said my mom had been crying. That she was really hurt by how I attacked her. She meant well, he wrote. Then added, like they always do. You know how she is. She's old school. I stared at the message. Then turned my phone over, screen down. Let the silence stretch. The next Sunday a card arrived. No return address. Her handwriting. Tight. Controlled. Familiar. Inside, a photo of Mia. Holding the mop. Same mop. Same pink ribbon. Same tight smile. She wrote beneath it. She looked happy. You always twist things. I sat on the floor. Card in hand. I didn't cry. I just breathed. Then folded the photo once. Then again. 4 pieces. Clean lines. I dropped them in the trash. Covered them with tea leaves and orange peels. I didn't want to see that mop again. Mia never mentioned it. Not once. Not after the party. Not after we came home. Not after we threw out the party favors and the half-eaten cake. She just went back to drawing. Sunrises. Rockets. A tiger once. Sometimes she asks if we can go on trips. Just us. I say yes now. No more coordinating around family plans. No more explaining why she didn't get a proper gift. No more being told you know how grandma jokes. That phrase used to feel like a slap. Now it feels like nothing. We went to a museum. Mia wore her new purple jacket. The one with planets on it. She stared at the dinosaur exhibit for 12 minutes straight. Didn't even blink. I bought her a souvenir notebook from the gift shop. Later that night, she drew the T-Rex with giant eyelashes and tiny ballet shoes. I laughed. She laughed harder. No mop in sight. A week passed. No new messages. 2 voicemails. Unplayed. A friend from work texted me, heard what happened. You okay? I told her, yeah. For the first time actually. I started buying fresh fruit again. Stopped checking my bank account 5 times a day. Started reading before bed. Real books. One morning, I woke up and realized I hadn't dreamed about the party in 3 nights. Then 4. Then 7. 2 weeks later a neighbor knocked. She had a package for me. Wrong address. We got to talking. She has a daughter too. Same age. We set a play date. It was small. Just sidewalk chalk and string cheese. But Mia beamed. She said. They didn't laugh when I said I wanted to be an astronaut. I hugged her. Held her a little longer. Said, of course not. Because you will be. She nodded. Like it was the most obvious thing in the world. And maybe in this new world it is. I don't wait for their calls anymore. My phone still buzzes sometimes. A random number. A silence behind the ring. Then nothing. I don't check voicemails. I don't read between the lines. There are no more lines. Just blank space where guilt used to live. I wake up without tightness in my chest. Without dreading Sunday mornings. Without wondering if I should say sorry just to keep the peace. I don't owe anyone peace that cost me my daughter's smile. The first real snow fell last Thursday. Mia ran to the window, bare feet on the cold floor, eyes wide. She didn't ask if we'd go to Grandma's. She didn't ask about a party. She just said, can we go outside? We bundled up. Layer after layer. Socks over socks. Gloves too big. Scarves too long. She built a crooked snowman. Named him Tim. Gave him 2 stick arms and a carrot that wouldn't stay in place. We laughed when it fell off for the 3rd time. We didn't take pictures. We didn't post stories. We didn't perform happiness for anyone. We just lived in it. Then we came inside. Peeled off wet clothes. Wrapped ourselves in soft towels. I made hot cocoa. She asked for marshmallows. I had them ready. She beamed. No one criticized the mess in the kitchen. No one told me I was spoiling her. No one said, back in my day we didn't get all this. Because no one was here. And that made all the difference. One morning while organizing old boxes I found an old planner. 2018. Tabs still marked. Pages scribbled in my neat, tight handwriting. One section was labeled Family Budget. I flipped through it. March, Mom's car repairs, $800. April, birthday fund for Lily, my niece, $150. May, rent for Mom, covered when she was short again, $1,100. June, grocery card, vet bill, new school shoes for someone else's child. Not one entry for me. Not a haircut. Not a coat. Not even a new pillow. Just pages and pages of sacrifice. I closed the planner. I didn't cry. I didn't burn it. I just slid it into a drawer labeled before. Because that's what it was. Now when Mia falls asleep I sit with my tea. No TV. No scrolling. No family group chats buzzing in my ear. I light a candle. Breathe in eucalyptus. Let the wax pool slowly. The walls aren't silent. They're serene. The apartment smells like toasted bread. Clean towels. Faint lavender. And sometimes chocolate chip cookies. I bake more now. Not to impress. Not for potlucks where no one brings anything but critique. Just for us. I learned to make sourdough. Mia named the starter Captain Yeasty. We fed it together. Watched it bubble like magic. I don't think I've ever laughed like I did the day the dough exploded from the jar. We didn't clean it right away. We just danced around the mess. Then we cleaned. Together. My mom texted again last week. Don't you miss how things used to be? I stared at the message. Then looked around. The clean kitchen. The small bookshelf filled with things I actually love. The photo on the wall. Mia holding a plush octopus mid-laugh. No mop in sight. No shame hidden behind forced smiles. No silence holding a scream. I typed, no, I don't miss any of it. Then I blocked her number. For real this time. No half measures. I bought new mugs. White ceramic with speckles. Heavy. Solid. One says strong. The other soft. They sit side by side. Like 2 truths that finally learned how to live in the same room. Mia picked wildflowers last weekend. Pressed them between books. She said, let's make our own garden one day. I said, we will. And meant it. Not just as a dream, but as a plan. Some nights I still remember the party. The sound of the ribbon sliding off the mop. The way Mia's eyes searched the room, asking without words, Is this normal? I remember the laughter, the clinking glasses, the applause. The applause. That was the worst part. But now, when the memory comes, it doesn't sting the way it used to. It just reminds me who I don't have to be, what I don't have to return to, what I chose to leave behind. There's a pair of slippers by the door now, wool-lined, my size, a candle by the sink, white tea and sage, a note from Mia on the fridge. You make me feel safe. Underlined. Twice. That's the kind of inheritance I want to leave her. Not guilt. Not confusion. Not the idea that family means enduring quiet cruelty. I want her to know that peace can be chosen. That silence can be healing. That being loved should never feel like walking on broken glass barefoot. She knows that now. So do I. I still remember the last thing my mother said to me before I cut her off for good. One day you'll need us again. She was wrong. What I needed was this. A home with soft sheets. A broom with no memory attached. A kitchen that smells like cinnamon. A daughter who no longer flinches when someone raises their voice. A phone that doesn't ring with guilt. And mornings filled with light. And tea. And stillness. And me. Just me. Enough.